Hi there, welcome to Flogan Dreams. Today we're going to be talking about some new makeup releases for November. Hi there, welcome to Flogan Dreams. Today we're going to be talking about some new makeup releases for November. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. I scoured Instagram again for the announcement of loads of new makeup releases. Some of these you may already know about, some of these you may not have heard of yet. There's a lot of still Halloween releases that are in here because I always film this video once a month at the start of a month. So that means that some of the announcements for Halloween happened after I had filmed my previous video. And there are some Christmas collections and holiday collections that have been announced in the meantime as well. So that's what we're going to be talking about and whether I'm going to be buying any of these. Spoiler alert, nothing that I'm going to be talking about today is even going to go onto a wish list. Unless I already own it. There's that, just so you know. Because the first thing I need to talk about is the Witch's Familiar by Fantasy Cosmetica. So the last time I filmed this video, I only had the cover. I didn't have any images of what it looked like inside. This was already sent to me in PR by MONOLITH, so this is already in my house. And this is something I'm going to be reviewing for you in November. That's just the way I live my life. This is their collab with Betty Jean. She's a creator I really enjoy watching. I don't watch a lot of beauty content anymore on YouTube, but she's still one of my go-to channels to watch, so that's lovely. And I not only wanted to support her, but a Fantasy Cosmetica palette is always great in my book, and this color story also really appealed to me, so when I got the opportunity through MONOLITH to receive it from them, I decided to pick it up. This time around, MONOLITH actually gave me a code and I could place my own order, which I thought was really helpful because this way I can just pick and choose from the website what suits my preferences rather than sometimes they just send me things as well. So there's that trade-off. But yeah, I like doing it this way, and this is a beautiful looking palette. This also came to MONOLITH. This is the Singe Beauty palette. This is called the Paisley Hoot. It's a neutral palette, which is very much the kind of neutrals that Angelica likes to wear. In case you didn't know, Singe Beauty is Angelica Nukvist's brand. And I like that this brand doesn't do a million different releases. I've never tried Singe Beauty eyeshadow. I did try a couple of the brushes. And I was also sent a blush by MONOLITH in the past when those products first came to the website. And I like them well enough, but nothing has wowed me. And none of the color stories for the palette she's released so far have really appealed to me either. So that's why I decided to skip this. There are some cool tones in here, but mainly it's warm tone leaning. It's very fall-esque as well, so if that's what you like, you're probably going to enjoy this palette. So I'm not going to knock this because I do think it looks really pretty. It just doesn't really go with what I want my makeup to do. So that's why I decided to not request this one in PR. So I think this is a really clever collab. I only have a video for this, but this is the Gourmand Girls Nevermore palette. Very much Wednesday inspired, of course, because the school she goes to is called Nevermore. But also very fall-esque. But then I look at the palette and then it's got periwinkle blues. And I'm like, how is that fall? And that's been an issue that I've had with some of the Gourmand Girls palettes I've now tried, is that they look really cool in the palette all laid out together, but then in practice and in usage, things don't really come together for me. So that's why I'm not going to be prioritizing getting this palette, as beautiful as it looks. I'm sure you can do stunning looks with it, but with Gourmand Girls, what I've tried the Bitten palette and I've tried the Frozen Kiss, and both of them had a couple of issues. So that's why I decided to not go for that. There was a new mystery bundle from Unearthly that was announced. They do some really lovely things, and this was two sort of like collections of shadows. I don't think they were actual palettes. They were more like singles. Cursed Winter and Shattered Snowfall. And they came with a bundle of shadows, a magnetic palette, the metallic lipsticks they do, a gloss, and a highlighter, which I think is pretty. I think these color stories that they shared are really, really beautiful. It's just that with Unearthly, I do think that some of the things are a little bit especially with their newer formula, I didn't love that all that much. I hope that the Gothic Romance, I think it was called, that was sent to me in PR last month, by Monolith, so I'm going to be testing that out as well. So I knew I had plenty of Unearthly to try. But yeah, this does look really beautiful. If the brand was a little bit easier for me to get, because I don't think these bundles came to Monolith. I don't think they did. So that's why I didn't have the opportunity to get them, because if I get it from the Unearthly website, of course I can buy it, but getting it to Europe is actually quite expensive. So that's, you pay almost double for, including shipping and handling fees and the customs and whatnot. So ever since I found Monolith, I've just been using them. I do have a code with them, in case you didn't know yet. I'll pop it up on the screen. You can get 5% off of your order if you want to. Then I have this announcement from MAC. They have some Dazzle shadows again, which I think a lot of people were really excited for, because Dazzle shadows and also Dazzle glosses, I think were discontinued. I'm not really huge on the MAC lore all that much, so I thought those were discontinued, and now they've brought them back. So I've heard quite a bit of buzz about MAC doing these Dazzle shadows and Dazzle glosses again. But at the minute, I'm just not really into buying single shadows at all at the minute. I mean, I only just recently got back into using even some of my singles. So first need to use what I have before I even look at a single again. Beauty Bay did a little teaser of something exclusive that is coming to Beauty Bay, which seems to be build it your own palettes from judging by the pictures. So not sure what they're doing there. Maybe they're trying to bring single shadows back single-handedly. I remember a decade ago, everybody's using single shadows left, right, and center, and it's just really not a thing anymore. Everything is palettes nowadays, even from luxury brands. So maybe the MAC release and this tease thing from Beauty Bay can mean that we're getting it back. Who knows? I would be into it. Not that I'm in the market for any new single shadows, but I would be into it. I think it's good if they brought that back. Then Beauty Bay has announced some more things, namely that all of their standard palettes have now been repackaged. And they have been updated, I think. Yeah, so they actually showcased this on all of their socials, that this is just the, what's it called? The Dark Lights color palette, but they've actually rebranded all of their eyeshadow palettes now, in case you were looking for them. Then we have some Patrick Ta news. These are the Major Dimension Essential Artistry Edit palettes, and they are essentially just 6-pan versions of the larger sizes he already does. Which, if you have those, you're really not going to need these. They seem to be mainly matte, and he says it's curated for every single skin tone. There are 3 palettes. There's always a mix of warm and neutral tones, it says, so no cool tones at all, and it's travel friendly. They come in light, medium, and deep. I'm not in the market for these. The Patrick Ta mattes, though, they are some of the best matte shadows I've ever used, but it was the shimmers that I didn't like. Even though these are all matte, I don't use all matte palettes either, so this isn't for me. It was also incredibly warm toned. I actually gave away my Major Dimension 2 palette because I wasn't vibing with it at all. Then, of course, we have some more winter Christmas collections. This is the Sephora one. It's okay, I guess. I don't know. Does Sephora do good holiday collections? If you've tried some, let me know in a comment down below, because I don't really have that info. It looks pretty. It looks very cute, but I don't think I'm the target audience for this one. So skipping on the Sephora ones for sure. Then Gucci has a holiday collection as well. This is what it looks like. From a distance, I thought this was going to be Charlotte Tilbury. When I didn't look at it in full what it said, I was like, oh, but it's Gucci. I do like the burgundy packaging. I can tell you that much. But this looks a teensy bit boring. And why would you put a cushion foundation as a limited edition? It's a luminous finish moisturizing SPF. So yes, it's a cushion foundation. It comes in 2 shades. Do better, Gucci. Do better. No, we're not going to do that. Then there's a bunch of new Catrice and Essence that has been announced as well. I have some videos, I have some images as well. They do these like pudding blushes. Where have we seen that before? Do you remember how I've been saying for the past year that Essence and Catrice both are just doing a lot of K-beauty dupes? Case in point, because the pudding blushes by Fui are some of my favorites, so I know I'll love this product. But so far, Essence and Catrice haven't been doing it better than K-Beauty. So cut out the middleman. If you want K-Beauty type of products, if you want this formula, it already existed from K-Beauty and C-Beauty brands. Just go on to YESSTYLE. They do loads of sales. You don't need this from Essence and Catrice. You really don't. So cut out the middleman and find yourself some other makeup as well. Then I think this got a lot of hype. The Danessa Myricks new Light Work 7 eyeshadow palette. And so many people have been loving this. And here's the thing. I want to love Danessa Myricks as a brand. I just haven't been able to find the brand much anywhere. I have been able to find a little console. Like when I say little, it's like literally like the width of like this in Sephora in London. And all of the products in that display look so gross from all of the people going into it. And it always, it's so off-putting to see that. So the fact that I cannot see these products in real life, the stock they have available at that space is terrible as well. With how expensive the brand is, has just really put me off of trying too many things. It's just hard to buy, hard to see what this can do. So as much as I admire these products when I see other creators use them, or when I see makeup enthusiasts like using this palette, I'm like, oh, it looks gorgeous. But it doesn't say here how much it is, but I think this is as much as a Mothership palette from Pat McGrath. I think they go for around the same price point. And I mean, I get the idea, right? So these palettes like click together, and if you have a couple of the light work palettes, you can like curate like smaller palettes in there, and you can like whatever. You can take them all out. You can like completely customize it all together. That is beautiful, and it works really well if you are a working makeup artist, like Danessa Myricks is. But I'm not a makeup artist. I do my makeup at home. So that's why I haven't tested out too many things there, because, or at least nothing even, because it's just so difficult for me to buy. And then combined with the expense, I'm like, do I want to put my money towards that? And there's always something else that I prioritize to get over a Danessa Myricks product. It's not that I don't want to try them. That Yummy Skin foundation sounds like it's going to be right up my street, but it comes in like 50 shades, and I've never been able to find the entire line so I can even like swatch out the tester to see what shade might be right for me. I have to go online, and then the product is over 50 euros, and I'm like, thank you, next. You know, it's just, that really goes into what I can like even like just tell myself like is a good idea, you could say. So that's why I just don't think it's a good idea to invest in that. We have some new Moon Dust shadows from Urban Decay. I think this looks really pretty. It goes very much with that sort of Gen Z, sort of pinky Y2K throwback aesthetic that we've seen a lot. This looks pretty. It's really, really pretty. Again, Urban Decay has become, ooh, there's music here. Urban Decay has become pretty much impossible for me to buy. I can only get it online. There are no displays anymore anywhere. Again, I have to go to London to even see Urban Decay in real life. But they've been taken completely off of the EU market, and there's only a couple of online retailers that stuck some of it, but not these newer products. So that's always a bit of a shame. More Catrice limited edition. I think this is actually in the same collection as the pudding blushes. This is the Gel Cream multi-use palette. So it's a bronzer and a highlighter from what I can tell. And when I looked at this, I was like, Catrice, you're about a million years too late duping the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood film star Bronze and Glow. What's that thing called? The little compact with the bronzer and the highlighter. I had that from Charlotte Tilbury, and I really liked it. And I had the W7 dupe before owning the Charlotte Tilbury product. And I really loved it. I really liked the bronzer in there. So this is confusing me a little bit. It looks really pretty. I think it's already sold out everywhere where I've been able to see it. But yeah, this is one of those things where I'm like, Catrice, why? I mean, it looks beautiful, but we really didn't need another Charlotte Tilbury dupe on the market. We really didn't. Then this had me kind of excited because the Gelato Swirl highlighters from Laura Geller are back. I had one of these. A long time ago, back when they were still available through Ulta, and I was actually able to go into an Ulta and I was able to buy this. Maybe I got something in a swap as well. Like, this is such a throwback, and if we're getting these kind of things back, I'm gonna love it. It says it's baked, but I actually found that it had more like a jelly kind of texture. It's almost like a gel product. So this is lovely. I'm not sure. Where can you get this? I don't know where it's available, but I was glad to see that this is coming back. This is such a throwback for me. I don't remember, what was the shade called again? I had like a little guy, and then I also had like a little palette with like 3 different shades in. This is such a throwback to me. I know that Laura Geller, like, they used to be available at Ulta, and then they went into QVC, I believe. And if they're back, that would be lovely because they had some really beautiful products. Some more Natasha Denona then. This is the Essential Eye Duo, and there's also a mini blush. So it's these like little minis that Natasha Denona does for every single holiday season. This looks pretty. It's okay. It's just not something that I need. I have this a million times over, and this actually looks like the mini treasures, or tiny treasures, I think it's called, that we got from Catrice, the diamond one, like the little duos they do now. It's in the newest collection. I really feel that this looks identical to what Catrice does. So who's duping who here, you know? We have a new Morphe collection. This is their holiday collection. Apparently burgundy and like brown is like the fashion color of the year. So I think that's why we're getting so much like burgundy colored makeup. It's why I'm wearing this chocolate brown sweater today. I'm really loving all the chocolate brown we're having. But yeah, burgundy is of course a lovely shade, but I do feel it kind of distracts from what the products actually look like, because the products themselves aren't that exciting. So be careful, especially when you see things in special holiday packaging, that just because it looks pretty, it can actually alter what the product looks like. I remember Kelly Gooch doing like a video about this a couple of years ago, how like the background of the palette is going to make the eyeshadows look more interesting than they actually are. So you always need to bear in mind, if you can imagine it on like a more neutral color background, is it still going to look exciting? And then if you look at this Morphe palette, say for the fact that it has 2 pinks in, it's a boring brown palette. And we have a million of those already, and you probably already have that in your makeup collection. So we don't need this. We didn't need this. Like I said, loads of Essence and Catrice. This is their Alice in Wonderland. I didn't remember. Like, who still needs this? They've done a million Disney collabs by now, and we're still getting them. I stopped doing them a couple of years ago because what I realized with a lot of these limited edition collections, like even the regular ones, not even the Disney ones, whenever I would test them out with Essence and Catrice, there was never a product that I wanted to have in my makeup collection long term. There's only one highlighter from one of the Disney collections, from the Disney Villains collection that they did a couple of years ago, that is still in my makeup collection today. One. And I've tested like 15 of these collections out over the years, and like even more if I count all of the other limited edition collections that they've done. So it always looks pretty, the packaging always looks really nice, but I actually spotted the Catrice version of these products in store, and you know what they've done? They've done the biggest faux pas you can ever imagine, which is to repackage existing products. Because they do the Glam and Doll Volume Mascara, which is my favorite mascara by Catrice, or at least one of my favorites. And it now comes in Alice in Wonderland packaging. And then they just up the price a little bit. And I'm like, can we not do this? So I'm not sure how unique any of these items are. There's a bunch of them, but like I said, so often I was just disappointed with these products. So I've decided to stop myself, like, the headache of trying these products in the first time, like, in the first place, and then having to declutter them straight away because I know I won't be using them long term. So I know a lot of people want to hear my thoughts about these things, but say for me, showing that they have a new one yet again in a video like this, I don't really spend that much attention to these anymore because I know I won't like the products because they are always lesser quality than the actual, like, regular ranges we already get every 6 months. So I don't need this in my life as well. It's just too much. It was too much. I couldn't use it all. The reviews weren't that stellar usually, and I ended up decluttering things straight away. So it was a waste of money, a waste of resources, and these things just shouldn't exist. I wish Essence and Catrice would focus more on creating long-term products that can exist in their lines for a longer period of time. They don't. Yeah. It's almost like, you know how ColourPop had these, like, collections every 2 weeks all of a sudden, like a couple of years ago? They've kind of stopped doing that, which I like. But, you know, Essence and Catrice have been doing this for, like, as long as I've been wearing makeup. They've been doing this. New collection every 6 months, new limited editions every 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. And I feel like in their limited edition collections, they do try out what products are going to be popular, and very often, if those products are really popular, they will put them in their regular ranges. For instance, Catrice now does these big blushes that look like the Rare Beauty ones. They did a limited edition collection first over the springtime, had those type of blushes in, and now we got slightly different shades in the regular range. So I do think they kind of like use it to test case what is popular and what isn't. And I definitely think that with Essence and Catrice, their turnover rate is so quick because that's just part of their business model. They don't, like, then they only have to keep things in stock for a limited amount of time, and then they can actually move on to something else. I definitely think that that's how they're able to, like, do these dupes really quickly as well, and how they're able to hop on different trends. Like, oh, we have color changing blushes are a trend, so all of a sudden Essence does an entire color changing, like, limited edition collection. They're able to do these things because that's how they organize the brand. And I just kind of stopped buying into that a couple of years ago. So no, I won't be reviewing any of these Essence and Catrice limited edition collections because my experience is just, it's never as good as what they do in their regular range. Their regular range, same goes for Kiko, which is a brand coming up next, or in a little while, but it's just never as good as what they already do long term. And I'd rather have Essence and Catrice have more of these really good long-term products than these throwaway limited edition collections. And also with limited edition collections, the turnover rate for them is so quick that, like, I'm still reviewing Essence and Catrice products that came out in August because I'm only one person and I only have one face. So there's only so much I can do. And now there's already, like, this again. And I'm like, oh, it's just too much. It's just too much. And then by the time I get my hands on it and I filmed with it and I've tested it all out and I can actually let you know whether anything is good, the collection is no longer available. So I'm like, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to focus on. This I thought was really cute. It's actually by Lisa Eldridge, and it's the limited edition holiday collection that she came out with. This sold out really quickly, at least here in Europe. A lot of the eye sets were no longer available. You could use it, you could buy it as a set or as individual shades. The eye set with these really pretty cool toned liquid shadows, I would have loved to be able to get my hands on. I will be traveling to London later this month, so I will be able to find Lisa Eldridge in store, and fingers crossed, I'm really hoping that some of the products are still in stock in store. I hope that the stock is better there, and then I might be able to pick up a couple of things. I'm actually hoping to repurchase my Velvet Muse lipstick when I'm in London because that's almost gone. So I will be checking out Lisa Eldridge anyway. They have a counter in Selfridges. There's a Lisa Eldridge counter in Liberties. So you can find them in different places in London, which I enjoy. and it's just great to be shopping. I like the packaging here as well. This is one of the very few holiday collections that made me go like, ooh, when I saw it, but it sold out really quickly, at least here in Europe. Lisa Eldridge has, her website has different fulfillment centers around the globe, which is why in certain areas something may still be available and in others it's not. So there is definitely that goes into it. But yeah, this was a beautiful collection, and especially those 3 eyeshadows. They're called Aria, Rosalie, and Celine. Those I would have loved to own. I hope she makes them permanent. That's all I can say. But yeah, that's something I just wasn't able to buy. Then there was a new palette from Devroon Cosmetics, and for a hot minute I was like, ooh, that looks nice, but I went with the Bella Beauty Bar Dreamscape, or Dark Dreamscape one instead. Because I like the Devroon Cosmetics formula, but I like Bella Beauty Bar a little bit better. Even though I didn't love the unoriginal nudes that I tried last month, I really like the color story of Dark Dreamscape so much, and it definitely doesn't seem to have those really sticky shimmers in that the unoriginal nudes seem to have. So I have high hopes that I like the Dark Dreamscape a little bit better. But yeah, this looks beautiful. It has these really stunning teals and pinks and sort of like really like grungy botanicals. To me, it's like, what's that like? It's like, it's not Rocky Horror Picture Show. I always mess up the name. Also because I'm like not much in tune with that part. Like the 80s I kind of missed out on because I was born in the 80s. So I'm not too like it's not front of mind, but it's this movie, and it's got like the talking plant. Everybody dresses up like the plant for, what's it called? It's also something with horror in the name, like the Little Shop of Horrors. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. Yeah, it's giving that. This palette is giving that sort of vibe, I feel. So I really like the look of this, but it's not something I necessarily need to own. The 2 rows in the middle, not my shades. So there is too little here that really makes me go like, ooh, I want to put that on my face. So that's why I decided to not go for this one, but go for the Dark Dreamscape instead. Because that had more shades that I could see myself wearing. And then we have Kylie Cosmetics. We all know how I feel about Kylie Cosmetics. I haven't been able to talk about them for a while because we haven't been getting a lot of new things. But me and Kylie Cosmetics were not the best of friends exactly. So it's just not a brand I've ever been interested in, no matter how popular those lip kits were. I felt a lot of people were buying this brand because of the Kardashian name that was like attached to it, because she's in like the Kardashian Jenner family. That's why people buy it, but not because the makeup was any good. So that's why I kind of always like, do I really want to test this out? I think you could also buy ColourPop and get the same thing. I do think that the entire sort of like Kylie and Kim Kardashian makeup lines are now owned by a different brand though. So that's probably why we haven't heard from them for a while. And these formulas may therefore be different than the ones they used to have in the past, but nothing here sparks my interest and makes me go like, that's something I want to have. So Nabla has also announced quite a lot of new things. This is their new blush. And this looks really pretty. I love the mauve tone. Do I need another mauve tone blush in my life though? The answer is absolutely not, because I have too many. And this is probably a warm tone mauve, because Nabla, being Italian, tends to make a lot of their makeup quite warm toned, which is why over time I've actually decluttered quite a bit of my Nabla palettes. And I have to say, I still really love the skin glazing stuff that they came out with a couple of years ago. Still reach for that bronzer, still reach for that highlighter, still reach for that blush. So this is not something I need in my life, but Nabla can do really good makeup, and I'm really glad to see them do some new things, because it's been a while. This already came to MONOLITH as well. I only have a video of it. It's by Adept Cosmetics. It's the Renewal. I don't know how to pronounce this. And this looks stunning. This is such a good cooler tone leaning color story. Adept just always gets me with their promotion pictures because it looks beautiful in these images. But I know how much I struggle using Adept eyeshadows, and these are expensive palettes, so I decided to skip on this one. Yes, it looks beautiful. I'm sure if you love these really flaky, shimmering things, you're probably gonna love it. But with Adept, I actually find them a little bit expensive for what you get. So that's why I passed up on this one. A lot of you have already been asking me what I think of the new Cosmic Brushes release. This is their Starlight Society collection. It's a full collection. It also has some lip products, but of course you want to know how I feel about the palette. I think this looks really pretty, but again, like with the Devrune Botanicals palette, there's only 2 rows, the 2 rows in the middle, that I would be inclined to use. The yellow-orange row, absolutely not. And then the neutral row seems to be actually quite warm-toned as well. There seems to be like a reddish tone to these browns, which can look pretty on me. I'm not going to lie. It can look pretty. I think this can be a really good palette if you've never tried the brand. I think if you've never tried Cosmic Beauty before, then this is going to be a stellar palette. It definitely looks a little bit more unique as well compared to other palettes we've seen from this brand and from other brands. I kind of like the layout overall. I like that there are these really light tones, but that there's also really deep things in there. There seems to be a nice array of shimmers in here, but from what I can tell, there's really only like 1 or 2 good shimmers in every single row. So I would want a little bit more in terms of shimmer. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shimmers. And then in a 20 pan palette, like, get me 2 more. I do think it looks stunning. I love the Cosmic Beauty brushes, like, formula. I think this brand does so many good things. So yeah, part of me wants this, but I'm not like over the moon excited for this. There's no fiber in my being that goes like, you need to get this ASAP. No. If this is offered to me in PR though, I may still get to try it anyways. I believe this is coming to Cosmic Beauty or to MONOLITH as well with their next drop for November. At least that's what I'm hoping. So yeah, this is going to be a little bit more widely available, and it has some really beautiful shades in. I cannot fault it for that. But I don't love enough of the entire palette to be absolutely wowed by this. By now, I just really know what I like, what I reach for, what I like to go back to, and what I don't like to go back to. And this is the kind of palette where it could be risky for me because I like it initially, but then I never have the like inkling to reach for it again in the future. So this is better left alone for me, but this could be really beautiful for you. This is some new eyeshadow shades from Merit, so their cream shadows come with some more shades. I have now tested out a little bit of Merit, and that is something I really enjoy. But Merit is one of those brands that, again, I waited for it to be available where, like, in a space where I could see it. And I'm so glad that I didn't fall for the Merit hype and already tried to buy things online because so much of it was warm toned and yellow when I looked at it in store. Like when I swatched it on the back of my hand, I struggled finding products that I could potentially use. Same thing with these eyeshadows. Everything looks so warm toned. I just really want more really good cool tone things. There's going to be a Merry Chrissy palette from Glaminatrix. Of course, I think it's really funny because Glaminatrix is an Australian brand, so it's going to be summer for them, which, like, if you're Australian, tell me a little bit about how you celebrate Christmas then, because over here, it's of course like cold. We don't necessarily get snow, but it's usually colder and darker and drearier. But what would Christmas look like if it's the height of summer that time of year? I have no idea how that would work out. Is that weird? I don't know. But yeah, it's just, of course, the other way around because they're on the other side of the world. So them doing a Christmas palette, I think, is very funny for that reason. Haven't seen a color story yet. I just have this reel. I did check their account before filming this video to see if we've been given any sort of look at the palette yet, but I can't find it yet. But they did also announce that they're discontinuing Barely Basics and the Nearly Natural. So if you were still looking to buy those, then maybe give Glaminatrix a visit. Then Bella Beauty Bar just keeps coming out with the new releases. I thought that the Dark Dreamscape was their Halloween release, but no. They did announce that on October 26th, so just about a week ago, they dropped the Come Play With Me palette. There's already a load of creators who filmed with this and who have given their thoughts. This looks pretty, but it's not screaming Halloween. And for me, it's because of those bright blues at the top where I'm like, why didn't you make this a Christmas palette? Because this could have been a Christmas palette. It's got the greens, it's got the reds, and then it's got these frosty blue things. To me, this is more of like a winter color story than a Halloween one, but maybe it's just me. It does look really pretty. It does really look pretty. Do I need it in my life, though? I'm not entirely sure, because I feel the reds in here may be very similar to the ones in the Witch's Familiar. So I already own that palette, and I don't need a million reds in my makeup collection either. And I feel like the reds is what make this palette a little bit more sinister and interesting. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this one. Again, maybe if this comes to Monolith and Monolith is like, hey, would you like to try this? I might, but I'm not going to run out and buy this. We have a new launch from Huda Beauty. This is a blush palette with 3 matte blushes and a highlighter in. I think what this is supposed to be is that it's for different skin tones. It's got a baby pink, it's got a peach, and it's got a roseberry sort of shade. Yeah, none of these really look too interesting to me. It all kind of looks the same as well. And the deepest one doesn't seem to be that deep for deep skin tones. And to be quite fair, the baby pink isn't cool tone enough for most people with like really fair skin tones and a cool undertone. It's very sort of peach heavy all across the board. So I'm going to be skipping this one. It's not for me. I'm not sure what this is going to be. It's again something that Lethal Cosmetics has teased. It says here in the description, something shifted, more color, more craft, more lethal. So I'm thinking they're going to be announcing something soon. This was posted on the 24th of October. Again, I checked their Instagram to see if there's anything more on this, but they were just pushing their Dexter collection still, which I think came out last year. I hope this is going to drop soon and we know what this is going to be. But yeah, a lot of like teasing sort of things, like things are coming. Kiko Milano has a new Christmas collection out as well, and this looks stunning. Their ad for this is really funny. I really feel like Kiko has been killing it with the the campaign images they've been doing. They've been doing some really fun things. Like they're really like pushing it to the next level. But this collection I already mentioned when I was talking about Essence and Catrice limited edition collections. And I feel the same way about Kiko. I've tried many Kiko limited edition collections in the past, and sometimes there is the odd gem in the collection, but to find those and to weed through it all, very often what Kiko does is that they take limited edition stuff from a year before and they just slap different packaging on it. It's just not something that I want to try necessarily. I love Kiko as a brand though. They do some really wonderful things. But for me, like with Essence and Catrice, the good things happen in the standard Kiko collection. I'm actually wearing a Kiko foundation today and I'm loving it. That was a new drop that is in their permanent collection that came out this year. That's always the good stuff. That's always the good stuff from Kiko. In their regular range that they do all the time, that's where you're going to find the good stuff. Kiko Milano limited editions don't always have the good stuff. Mainly because I feel like Kiko Milano limited edition collections are also a little bit weird. Because what they tend to do is that they do skincare in there as well. Like, how can skincare be limited edition? Like, with skincare, I need consistency, else my skin is gonna freak out. And with them, I also feel like they do the most random things and they just slap different packaging on it and call it limited edition. So I don't feel it's always like super limited anyways. And very often with Kiko Milano limited editions, you can find a lot of it on sale after Christmas. So with this, you may want to actually just hold out and just wait for the sales after Christmas or the Christmas sales itself, because then a lot of their limited editions are like 30, 40, 50% off. And a lot of the limited edition stuff just like sits there, I feel. So that's why I'm not really inclined to trying this limited edition collection. But yeah, props for the marketing on this. I think it looks really pretty and the products look really pretty. It's just that I like to stick to what Kiko Milano has to offer regularly. Nabla, more Nabla, a foundation stick. I think this is really, really clever because this comes in a ton of shades. There's 20, not that many. So again, I don't think this will necessarily have my shade in. because there's, again, Nabla is just a little bit orangey, peachy leaning, a little bit yellow. If I compare the shades here, there seems to be one really light sort of pinky tone, but it's not too many. So, yeah, it looks pretty. Do I need a foundation stick in my life? No. I usually find them too drying. Even the ones that say they are hydrating, I just don't like the texture. In order for them to exist in this stick-like formula, they need to have a certain level of like substance to them, and that never really plays well with my skin type. So I have too dry skin to really be testing these kind of things out. But again, I like that Nabla does some new things, and I kind of like this like black, dark brown and blue packaging. I really like it. So it's a foundation stick and a contour stick, and the contour stick comes in 5 shades. I think this looks fine. It's good for them to have something new. And then we're going to continue the Nabla train, because Nabla has also come out with Christmas collection. So I think it's mainly lip products. It's an advent calendar, and then Cupid's Cool Serenity Holiday Kit and Rose Poetry, and then some lip oils. So this looks pretty. Again, not something I need in my life per se, but it looks pretty. More Essence holiday stuff. This is the Nuts About You collection, and this looks really, really pretty. I have already seen these products in store. I've already did my little mantra about Essence and Catrice limited edition collection, so you know why I won't be picking them up, but they seem to have a couple of nice products in here for sure. So I was saying, Catrice also does a limited edition collection. This looks really pretty, again, with the burgundy and stuff. They do some really pretty things. It's called Holla Glazing, and it's their limited edition for 2025. I think it comes with like nail polish, and they have some really nice different things in there. They have a liquid blush, a lip color, and there's like a hairband and like other random things. So it looks pretty, but again, it has this like burgundy sort of vibe to it, which I feel is just a touch misleading, because to be quite fair, I don't think that necessarily adds much to the makeup. You don't need that in order to have good makeup, I think. This one I did want to mention because, again, we haven't seen a new release from this brand for some time. However, this is not a brand that I'm currently supporting, so I know I won't be picking it up for that reason. But Jeffree Star has a new collection out. It's the Night Owl collection. It comes with a palette, and it comes with like the usual things whenever we do a drop. There are some lipsticks, some eyeshadows, and some eye patches. And there's a brush set as well. I remember the days when Jeffree Star palettes were all the rage. I had a couple of them myself. I pulled them apart to only have the shades that I liked from the palettes, because there was a lot of repetition between the different palettes. But then, of course, Jeffree Stars did do a lot of like really questionable things, and I know that some people have no issue with that, and I just never really knew what to do about it or what to do with it or mention it on my channel. This collection just doesn't look like anything special, especially if you compare it to what indie brands are currently doing. This doesn't even hold a candle to what something like Bella Beauté Bar or Fantasy Cosmetica is currently doing. So this doesn't really look all that interesting. And I've pretty much stopped following him on socials as well. He pretty much disappeared, I feel, and apparently now he's back, just so you know. There is a new Give Me Glow palette, and this confuses me, because Give Me Glow was like, weren't they also the brand who did like a lot of like Glamlight, like a lot of the food related stuff? I think they did like a Juicy Olive sort of collection at some point. And now they're doing this. It does look really pretty. It's the Tie Down to Earth palette. And it has some really, really pretty like greens and browns. It's just really brown heavy. And again, not enough shimmers for my liking. And what confuses me about this palette is that it's very mid-tone heavy. Like, we don't get anything that's super light, and we also don't get a lot that's super duper deep. It all seems to sort of fit around like a similar vein. Is it just me? I mean, it looks stunning, but do I need this in my life? like, as someone who loves neutrals, you might expect me to instantly go like, oh, I want to try this. But it's pretty warm toned. I do like the option of having the greens in. But to be quite fair, I'm not entirely feeling this one. Nothing here screams like, ooh, try me. Like, I do like how cohesive it looks. You get like little quads. Like each shimmer seems to come with its little quad of like 3 different mattes that it's then surrounded by. So that looks really pretty. I do think it also like works as like 6 shades or maybe as like 8 shades together, or like if you use different like columns going up and down, I think those work together. So it's a very clever layout. I think you're going to get loads of different looks out of this for sure. But it's confusing to me with the brand, because I don't think they've done a palette this big in a while. I don't remember them doing palettes with this many shades in. And the color story confuses me because they did so many really cool, colorful things a couple of years ago. And this is another brand where we haven't heard from them in a while. I do know they announced like a rebrand. So this could be part of the rebrand, which is probably why I'm confused. But maybe they just want to go into a different direction. Have I tried Gimme Glow Cosmetics? I think I did. And I think my conclusion was that it was too pigmented. So if this is part of the rebrand, then maybe this is also part of like a bit of a change in terms of formula. I don't know too much about it, but yeah, looks pretty. If you're a neutral lover, you're gonna love this, I'm sure. Not something I necessarily need in my life though, just saying. And then I was a bit surprised with this because I don't see her doing a lot of makeup content anymore. But Hannah Louise Poston has a Salt New York collab. And of course, with Hannah Louise Poston, I really feel her channel is always about like more aesthetics really than whatever it was that she was doing with makeup. Like, she definitely has a certain makeup style that isn't always mine. And she was also like, when they moved to the place that they live in now, I think she hasn't moved since, she started to focus a lot on brands that I couldn't get my hands on very easily. Salt New York is one of those brands. And I just felt like her content wasn't really going in a place where I was at. So that's why I sometimes watch the odd video, but I tend to enjoy her fashion content better now than I do her makeup content. So I don't tend to watch that anymore. So maybe that's why I'm like, why would you collab with a makeup brand? It probably makes sense for her and her loyal subscribers who watch every single video, but that's no longer me. I used to watch a lot of her content a lot back when she still lived in LA. But more recently, I feel it's all become very beige. And if you know anything about me and the way I like to like live my life, I'm not that beige, you could say. I happen to wear like a dark brown sweater today, but this is like not my go-to. I just really like the dark brown we're getting nowadays. But yeah, it's just not... I like to have variety and different things, and she's more like curating things down and like having a certain aesthetic, and that's just not really how I live my life, because aesthetics only get you so far, I think. And finally, this is already the final thing we're going to chat about. This is by Nomad Cosmetics, and this is their Christmas collection. Today, as I'm filming, we should get the announcement of the color story, but they're in the US, of course, so they're a little bit behind. So by the time you're watching this video, the color story will have announced, and it's German Christmas market themed, which I think is really clever. I love the cover of this. I actually am going to London this year. Last year I went to Germany to have like the Christmas spirit there, but this year I'm actually going to London, and I've actually like booked myself a ticket to see Kew Gardens with all the Christmas lights, which I'm so excited for this thing. I'm only there for 3 days, so it's going to be a lot, but I just wanted to see London with all of the Christmas lights. Like, I've done Paris with the Christmas lights at like the end of November a couple of years ago. I did Germany last year. I was like, it's only good for me to be doing London as well. I actually did New York over Christmas, like more than a decade ago, actually. So I've seen a lot of major cities with like all the little lights out and stuff, and I really wanted to do London this year. So I'm going London Christmas shopping rather than Germany, but yeah, Germany has all the vibes, and I definitely think next year I want to do like a Christmas market again in Germany. That's definitely what I think I would like to do. So those were all of the new makeup releases I wanted to highlight in this video today. Thanks so much for watching me. Let me know in a comment down below what makeup release you are excited for. Of course, this is the season. We're getting all of the drops. I think November is also going to be crazy because I haven't seen... like, maybe most of the holiday things have been announced now, so maybe it's going to slow down a little bit. But I think that every month, and then we still have like 30 plus things to chat about, I very deliberately leave certain things out as well, because some things I either just don't want to talk about because I know I can't get it, or it's a brand I don't talk about, or that I'm interested in trying, or it's just a product that doesn't interest me. So I definitely pick and choose what I do want to talk about. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed watching this video today. Thumbs up this video if you liked it, and subscribe because I do make this video once a month. And of course, I do make loads of other content on this channel. So if you'd like to stay tuned for more, there will be a new video coming your way really, really soon. Bye-bye.